Hi, this is Gabby Condi with acupofzen.com, and I'm here to show you how to make masks inside of Gooten. So I'm already inside my Gooten platform, so you'll need to create an account and then go to Product Catalog. And you can scroll down and find the masks here and then pick this. And it does take them 10 to 15 days because they're highly popular right now. So then continue with one SKU, and then here is the mask. So the mask printable area is right here. To make it really easy, it's 1245 by 1170 pixels. So that's what we're going to need to create in terms of our canvas. Go to Creative Fabrica. And we can use some of their, we can use their fonts, we can use their wording here, we can use their graphics and even their patterns if we want to. Let's go to graphics and we're going to see what comes up. So I want to try typing in unicorn. I think I want to make a unicorn mask. Here we go. Here's a unicorn pattern selection. These would make great masks. Now for the terms of use, you have to be careful because each platform has a different term of use. So for this one, let's see where the license is. I guess it's here. No. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to go look at the license. So the license will tell you how you can use this product, the patterns and the graphics. And it's all the same on Creative Fabrica, and it's usually similar on other platforms. So what we're doing is called print on demand. So you have to look for the license for print on demand. And here's the basic print on demand usage. So basically what they're telling you right here is that this is the original design, and then you can't just place the original design on something. So we can't just use this as it is on the mask. We have to make it different. See, they added this background watercolor, and then they added colors, and they added flowers around it too. So with this, we can't just use the pattern and that's it, right? We have to add something to it. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So I'm going to download this pattern, and then I'm going to look for a unicorn that I want to use. Let's try this unicorn head. Okay, so now what we're going to do is open up Photoshop. And if you don't have Photoshop, that's okay. You can use something else. Techniques are pretty much the same in terms of how this goes for layout. It's really easy to use a different program. You don't have to use Photoshop. Okay, so now that we're inside Photoshop, we need to create our canvas with our dimensions. So our dimensions are 1245 by 1170 pixels. So we click on Create New, and then it's already set to pixels, so we enter in 1275 by 1170, and you want to keep the resolution at 300 pixels per inch, and usually print is CMYK color, and then press Create. Alright, so now we have our canvas, and the way that you want to add your, let's figure out which pattern we're going to use first. So I just opened up the patterns, and I think that we will start with these dots, or let's go with the hearts. So that's number 11. So then we go to File and Place Embedded. We navigate to our folder. Okay, so once we're in our folder, then we select the one that we want to use. Okay, so now we need to expand it a little bit using these dots, and until we have it just right. And we can also rotate it too. You can see the rotate tool comes up if we want to rotate it. And once you have it just right, you can always undo if you need to. Then press this the cross little button here, and then it'll place it on our screen. So now here is, it looks like it didn't extend all the way, so I'm going to go up to Edit and Transform Scale, and then I'm going to extend it out a little bit more on the sides just to make sure. Okay, so now what we want to do is figure out which unicorn we want to use with this. So I think I'll use this one, but I'm going to change the colors on it. So what I'm going to do is go to File, Place Embedded, and then I'll navigate to that unicorn. Okay, so there it is. So now it's not standing out against the background because there's too much color on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up colors from the background, and then I'm going to add them to this, and then I'm going to make one or the other lighter, either the background or this unicorn a lighter color. So what I'm going to do first is click inside my color box, and it brings up my color picking tool, and I want to pick up the pink color, and then I'm going to use my magic wand, and I'm going to highlight the areas that I want to have pink, and then I'm going to use my bucket, and I can't yet pour the color into the bucket because it needs to be rasterized. So I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to start to fill in the pink colors where I want the pink colors to show up. And they actually kind of made it easy here because they already have some that are pink and some that are blue. So I'm just going to naturally choose these and follow the same pattern that they have. Okay, so the next color I want to choose is the blue. Oh, I need to get some of these on the horn. Okay, so the next color I'm going to choose is the blue. And then I'm going to choose I'm going to go with the purple instead of the orange yellow looking. Now what I think I'm going to do is reduce the opacity of the background. Let's make it about 65%. And then what I'm going to also do is add another layer of white. So I just navigate to my white. So now we can see it a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit more. So now we can see our unicorn is standing out a little bit more against the background. So the next thing that I want to do is to select this dot, and I can either keep it or I can delete it, but I think I'm going to delete it. So another thing that you can do to make it stand out against the background is to double click on it and give it a stroke. This is a very large stroke, so we're going to have to reduce it to about, let's say 5. And then you can choose your color of the stroke to whatever you want to choose. It could be black, it could be white, it could be whatever color you feel like you want to use on this. And you can also give it a drop shadow. Let's try increasing the opacity back to 100, and you can see how that looks now. Or you can make it about 35%. So it's just kind of up to you what you want to do. Here you could also make it at 100% and then add in some kind of text to it. So for the text, you could just use the text box and then type in something like, "I'm a unicorn." This is really large, so we're going to reduce the size of the text here. And then we'll change the color. Let's try black at first. And we're going to center it. Definitely do something with this. Let's see. Well, what we could do is you could move the layers of your background and your text and then right click on it and press create clipping mask. So now all of those hearts are inside of this text. And if we double click on it and we go to stroke again, then there's our stroke to outline our text. So now let's bring in the unicorn, and what we're going to do is we're going to scale it down. Oops, that was the wrong thing. Let's click on the layer that has the unicorn, and then we'll transform, edit, transform, scale. And we can scale it down. And you know, another thing you could do is to create a pattern from this unicorn. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's go to File, New, and we want it to be, let's say about, and we'll go 200 by 200, create, And then I want to select this layer and right click, duplicate layer, and then select your new layer, which is Untitled 2. And there's the unicorn. So I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, and Scale. And I want to bring it down to where it fits nice and neat in the middle. But there's still some sides around it. So now what I want to do is go Control J to create a copy of it, or you can just duplicate it. And then I want to go up to Filter, Other, Offset, and I want to choose 300 by 300. Yes. Okay, so you want it to be in the corners. So depending on the size of your canvas, it's going to be different. This was a 300 by 300, so it makes sense that you had to type in 300 by 300. And let's click OK. And then we go to Edit, Define Pattern. And then what we're going to do is go to Layer. We're back on our original canvas here. We're going to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Pattern. And then it automatically picks up the pattern that you just created. Press OK. And we scaled it to 100, which is fine. Now we need to move the pattern to the back. And there we go. So there's our unicorn pattern, but it needs a little work. So let's go back in here and we're going to click on the unicorn and we're going to release the drop shadow and release the stroke to give it a little bit variety. And the same with this one, release the stroke, release the drop shadow. Okay, so now we go to Edit, Define Pattern again. Go back to our original one, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna click the eye on it so it doesn't show. I'm gonna go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Pattern, and there's our pattern. So now the text is not really standing out against the background. So we want the text to stand out more. So I'm going to double click on it and go to Stroke. I'm going to increase the stroke to 10 and see if that helps. And then we can also change the color if we want to. I actually feel like this blue is coming through a little bit more. We can make it darker. We could use the pink, but that's a bit too much. Let's go with 10. What I'm going to do is change the text on this layer from it's right now. Oops, I created a new layer. Okay, so right now it's impact, and I want it to be a little bit thicker. So let's try. Let's go with C800. I know that this one is. Here we go. This looks much better. So there's one pattern that we can create. Let's try bringing in a different pattern. Let's try these clouds. And I'm just going to click the eyes on these other ones, so that all we have are just the clouds. And then I'll go to Shape, to Edit, Transform, and then I'll Scale. And then I'll pull the clouds out to the side. And now we want to bring in a unicorn. Let's try this one. That looks really good against the clouds. And we can also bring in some of these other things like the heart or the flower. Let's try the rainbow. Okay, so now we have a cute little unicorn on clouds with a rainbow. Alright, so let's save this one. And we're going to save it as a PNG file. Or we could save it as a JPEG. I think that they take those. We want to save it as the highest possible file, which is 12. And press OK. Alright, and then let's go back to Gooten. And we're going to click on Upload Artwork. Upload New Artwork. And let's see if we can find it and we can drag it in. So we're going to select this one. And there's our mask. It looks great. So now let's press continue. Oh, okay. So it gives us a product mock-up. So we can just save as. No. Okay. So we have to click it. And then you can save the image as. Okay. So now I have the image of the product mock-up that I could use in Etsy or wherever I want to list these masks at. Alright, so let's close this and then we're going to go to continue. And then what's great about Gooten is you can store this. So you've already created the cover, you got the mock-up, and now you can store it inside of your Gooten account. So you can say, you know, this is the face mask cover unicorn, and it also publishes direct to Etsy if you want it to. You have to connect your Etsy account, and then you just want to say something about the face mask. And then you can there's not really any, there's just the size, and then you can just publish it to your storage. And now you have that in your storage. So you can connect it to Shopify if you have a Shopify account, Etsy, or even WooCommerce if you have WooCommerce on your platform. So then it just becomes automatic fulfillment. When a person orders from any of these stores, then it'll automatically go to Gooten and will fulfill the order. And I believe the shipping from Gooten was only $3.50, but when you connect it to your Etsy store, it'll automatically display the Gooten shipping, so you don't have to do any shipping configuration on it. Same for Woo, I believe, and Shopify. So if you're going to fulfill these orders manually, then you just come back and click on your storage, and then I believe that you can go to, let's see, place an order. Here it is. And then you want to go to saved products, and then you choose your product. So here's all of your products, and you would choose, you know, the face mask cover. It's $9.50, so that's the base cost. So your cost, you would want to increase that usually by half. So that would be what, $19? And then, or whatever you want to charge. And then you go to add to cart. And then if you're doing this manually, then you complete the checkout steps. You would just go to cart and then enter in the person's address, you know, for shipping, proceed to your checkout and make the payment. I'm going to clear my cart. Okay. So there you go. That's how you create a mask. the subliminal mask on Gooten. You can also experiment with adding your own images to create a pattern, just like what we did here. Basically what you do is the same thing. You just create your pattern inside of here, and you don't have to just stick with the unicorn. You can switch it out for different things, like let's make it let's bring in this star. The only thing is that you want it to make sure that it's in the center and that it's not touching the other parts of this pattern, or it's going to look a little weird. And you want to make sure that there's enough space between it and the other things in the picture. And there it is. Now we can move it to the back. And there's our pattern. So it's really easy to create this, and I hope that you have fun doing it while you're creating your masks. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more videos.